My beloved child, before your eyes close and before your thoughts wander deeper into the night, listen to me. I know you told yourself you would sleep, yet something kept you awake. A quiet pull, a restlessness you could not explain. That is why I say to you now, do not sleep yet. This moment is urgent, not because of fear, but because of love. There is something your heart needs to hear before you rest. I see you lying there, scrolling, pausing, wondering why this title caught your attention. You may think it was curiosity, habit, or boredom. But I tell you gently and with certainty, it was none of those. It was me. I called you into this moment because your spirit has been carrying more than your words have admitted. And tonight, before sleep covers your eyes, I want to lift that weight. You have been strong for so long, my child. Strong in ways no one applauds. Strong in silence. Strong in endurance. Yet even strength grows tired. Even faith whispers questions in the dark. And the night has a way of bringing every hidden worry to the surface. That is why I ask you to open this now. Not tomorrow, not later. Because peace delayed feels like hope denied. Do not rush past this moment. Do not tell yourself you will come back. The ache in your chest, the tightness in your thoughts, the heaviness you cannot name, these are not random. They are signals. Your heart is asking for reassurance. Your soul is longing for rest that sleep alone has not been giving you. And I am here to give it. You may feel like nothing is dramatically wrong, yet everything feels heavy. Or perhaps everything is wrong, and you do not know where to begin. I know. I know what today took from you. I know the conversations you replay. I know the fears you bury beneath productivity and smiles. I know the questions you are afraid to ask me. And still, I love you without pause. Tonight is not about fixing everything. It is about opening a door. A door to peace. A door to safety. A door to remembering that you are not carrying life alone. Before you sleep, I want you to remember who holds you. Before your mind drifts, I want your heart anchored in truth. So stay with me for a moment longer. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders drop. You do not need to strive here. You do not need to understand everything I will say. You only need to remain open. I am not here to pressure you. I am here to cover you. This message found you because your soul asked for it. And I answer every cry, even the ones you never spoke out loud. Tonight, do not sleep yet. First, let me speak peace into you. My beloved child, I see you awake when the world has gone quiet. I see you in the stillness where no one else notices you. When lights are dim, when notifications fade, when distractions finally loosen their grip, that is when your thoughts begin to speak louder. And I want you to know this first. I see you fully, and I am not distant from this moment. You are not awake by accident. You are not restless because you failed to find peace. You are awake because your heart has been carrying questions that daylight keeps busy and burying. In the night, there is nowhere to hide from them. And I do not ask you to hide. I ask you to bring them to me. I see the way your mind replays moments you wish had gone differently. I see the conversations you practice in your head, the words you wish you had said, the ones you wish you could take back. I see the worries about tomorrow pressing against your chest, making sleep feel just out of reach. You may wonder why rest avoids you when you need it most. But listen closely. Your wakefulness is not weakness. It is awareness. There are parts of you that have been unheard for too long. Parts that learned to survive by staying quiet, by being strong, by pushing through. And now, in the quiet of this night, Those parts are asking to be seen. I am not overwhelmed by them. I am not disappointed in you for having them. I am present with you in them. You may feel alone right now, even if you are not physically alone. Light has a way of making the heart feel exposed. During the day, noise and responsibility distract you from the deeper ache. But here, in this moment, you feel everything more clearly. It does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you are human. And it means you are deeply loved. I am closer to you than your next breath. I am not waiting for morning to meet you. I meet you here, in the quiet, exactly as you are. You do not need to perform for me. You do not need to explain yourself perfectly. I already understand what you cannot put into words. You may be wondering why peace has felt so fragile lately. Why sleep comes slowly or not at all. It is because your soul has been carrying more than your body was designed to hold alone. And I never asked you to hold it alone. I never intended for you to be your own refuge. I am your refuge. Let me say this gently, because you need to hear it without fear. You are safe right now. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing is about to fall apart in this moment. You are not running out of time. You are not behind beyond repair. Right now, you are held. I see the effort you put into being okay for others. I see how rarely you allow yourself to rest without guilt. Even now, part of you may feel like you should be doing something more productive, even in the middle of the night. But I am not asking you to fix anything tonight. I'm asking you to receive. Stay with me here. Let your thoughts sow without forcing them. Let them pass like clouds instead of storms. You do not need to wrestle them into silence. Just let my presence be louder than your fear. This wakeful moment is not a punishment. It is an invitation. An invitation to be honest. An invitation to stop carrying what was never meant to live inside your chest. An invitation to remember that you are not alone in the dark. I am here with you. I have always been here with you. And before this night is over, you will feel the difference. My beloved child, let me say this with clarity and tenderness so it settles deep within you. This moment was not an accident. You did not wander here by chance. You were guided. Every step that led you to this message, every pause, every hesitation, every moment of scrolling until your heart whispered, "Open this," was intentional. I know how easy it is to believe life is random when you are tired, but I am never random with my children. You may think this is just another video, another voice, another night where you are searching for something to quiet your thoughts. But I tell you, I saw you before you press play. I saw you before the weight of today settled on your shoulders. I saw this night coming, and I prepared this moment for you because I knew you would need reassurance before rest. There are times I interrupt your routine not to alarm you, but to protect you. There are times I whisper urgently, not because danger is near, but because peace is. And if you sleep without receiving it, you wake still carrying what I wanted to lift. That is why you are here now. That is why your spirit felt the pull. I am aligning you, gently and deliberately, back to truth. You have been questioning yourself lately, wondering if you missed something, wondering if you should be further along, stronger, more certain. I want you to release those thoughts. I am not disappointed in you. I am proud of you for staying open, even when you were exhausted. Proud of you for listening to the quiet nudge instead of ignoring it. This message is proof that I am involved in the details of your life. Not just the big moments, not just the victories you celebrate publicly, but the private battles you fight alone. I entered those spaces with care. I speak there with precision. And when I speak, It is always for your good. Let this truth settle now. You are seen, you are guided, and you are not forgotten. What feels like coincidence is often confirmation. What feels like delay is often protection. And what feels like interruption is sometimes rescue. I am not rushing you. I am rescuing you from carrying more than you need to carry tonight. Stay with me. Let your heart soften. Let go of the idea that you must figure everything out right now. You do not. All you need to do is remain present. I will handle the rest. And my child, if these words are reaching you, if they are calming something restless inside you, I ask you to respond, not out of obligation, but out of overflow. Bless this message with a like so it can reach others who are awake in the dark, just like you. Share it with 3 souls who need reassurance tonight. And yes, I want you to hype this video, to lift it high, so peace can travel further than fear. Stay connected by subscribing, because I will continue to meet you exactly where you are. My beloved child, when you choose to support this work, you are not supporting a channel. You are helping my light reach hearts that are still wandering in the night. Every seed you sow here becomes oil for lamps that are flickering, bread for souls that are hungry, and shelter for minds that feel overwhelmed. I say to you, as I once declared, give, and it shall be given back to you. Pressed down and overflowing, not as a promise written on a page, but as my living voice speaking to you now. I am placing this invitation in your heart because I trust you with impact. Let your giving become a river that carries hope farther than your own reach. Support through Super Thanks, membership, with a PayPal link in the description and QR code, and watch how I bless what flows through your hands. Do it now, and step into obedience that releases life. My beloved child, I want you to be honest with me in this moment. Not with polished words, not with strength you force into your voice, but with the truth you rarely say out loud. You have been carrying weight that was never meant to live in your chest. And over time, that weight has learned how to disguise itself as normal. You tell yourself, this is just life. You tell yourself, everyone feels this way. You tell yourself, I can handle it. And maybe you can, for a while. But I see how it has slowly pressed on your spirit. I see how it has shortened your patience, clouded your joy, and made rest feel undeserved. I see the fatigue that sleep alone does not heal. You carry responsibility for others. You carry expectations that were placed on you before you were ready. You carry regret over moments you wish you could rewrite. You carry fear about outcomes you cannot control. And perhaps the heaviest of all, you carry the belief that you must not burden anyone else with what burdens you. So you stay quiet. You smile. You move forward. And inside, you grow tired. I do not say this to accuse you. I say it to release you. Because what you are carrying is not proof of failure. It is proof that you have been trying to survive without enough support. And I never asked you to do that. There are thoughts you wake up with that immediately feel heavy. Thoughts that remind you of what is unfinished, uncertain, unresolved. Even joy sometimes feels fragile, as if it might break if you lean on it too hard. That is what happens when weight stays too long on the soul. It dulls what once felt light. You may not even remember when this heaviness began. It did not arrive all at once. It came in layers. A disappointment here, a loss there, a season where you had to be strong because no one else stepped in. Slowly, you adapted. Slowly, you normalized the strain. But I never normalized it. I noticed every moment you said, I'll deal with it later, and later never came. Listen to me now, my child. You were not designed to live braced against impact all the time. You were designed to breathe freely, to rest without fear, to trust without constantly preparing for disappointment. The weight you carry is not your identity. It is not who you are. It is what you have endured. I want you to know something important tonight. I am not impressed by how much you can handle. I am moved by your willingness to let me help you. Strength does not mean holding everything together alone. Strength is allowing yourself to be supported when you are tired. You may worry that if you put this weight down, everything will fall apart. But I tell you the truth, what is truly held by me does not collapse. What collapses is what you were never meant to hold in the first place. And I am strong enough to carry what you release. You do not have to unload everything at once. Even setting down one fear, one regret, one expectation is enough for now. I am patient. I am gentle. I am not rushing your healing, but I am inviting you into it. Feel how your body responds when you stop bracing for a moment. Feel how your breath deepens when you remember you are not alone. That is not imagination. That is relief. That is your soul recognizing truth. I am here to carry the weight with you, and when you are ready, for you. You do not need to prove anything to me. You only need to trust that you are loved enough to rest. My beloved child, there is a silence that surrounds you right now, and it feels heavy because you are used to filling it. Noise has become a shield for you. Movement, distraction, constant input. These have helped you avoid what rises when everything becomes still. But tonight I have allowed the silence not to frighten you, but to meet you. And I want you to know something important. I am with you in it. Silence does not mean absence. It does not mean abandonment. It does not mean I have stepped away. In fact, I often draw closest when the noise fades, when voice is quiet, when the world stops demanding things from you. That is when my presence becomes easier to feel, even if at first it feels unfamiliar. You may notice that in silence, your thoughts speak louder. Memories surface. Questions echo. Emotions you postponed during the day begin to knock on your heart. This is why you have learned to avoid stillness. Not because you are weak, but because you have been protecting yourself. I understand that. I honor how you survived. But hear me now. What once protected you is no longer required in this moment. I am not here to overwhelm you with everything at once. I am here to sit with you, like a father sitting beside his child in the dark, not demanding words, not forcing explanations, just staying close enough that fear does not feel so loud. You do not need to fill the silence with prayers you have memorized or answers you do not have. Your presence is enough. Your breathing is enough. There have been moments when you wondered if I was quiet because I was displeased with you. Let me correct that gently. My silence is not rejection. It is not distance. Sometimes I am quiet because I am listening. Sometimes I am quiet because I am working in ways words cannot explain yet. And sometimes I am quiet because you need rest more than instruction. I know silence has scared you because in the past, it was where you felt alone, where no one noticed your pain, where you learned to self-soothe and self-carry. But this silence is different. You are not alone here. I am not watching from afar. I am near, close enough to steady you, close enough to hear every unspoken sigh. You do not need to rush out of this stillness. You do not need to check the time. Nothing is being taken from you by staying here a little longer. In fact, something is being restored. Your nervous heart is learning that stillness does not equal danger. Your soul is learning that rest does not require collapse. Is safety being relearned? If tears come, let them. They are not a setback. They are a release. If no tears come, that is okay too. Healing is not measured by emotion. It is measured by truth settling in. And the truth is this: you are held, even when nothing is happening. There are answers that will come later. There are solutions I am already arranging. But tonight is not about outcomes. It is about presence. About teaching your heart that it does not need to be on alert every moment. About reminding you that I do not leave when you stop performing. Stay here with me. Let the silence wrap around you without fear. Let it become a place of rest instead of resistance. I am not asking you to understand everything I am doing. I am asking you to trust that I am here, now, fully attentive to you. In this quiet, you are safe. In this stillness, you are not forgotten. And in this silence, I remain with you. My beloved child, I know you have wondered why sleep has been so difficult lately. You close your eyes. Your body is tired, yet your mind refuses to rest. Thoughts drift in without permission. Feelings rise without warning. And you ask yourself what is wrong with you. I want to answer that question with tenderness and truth. Nothing is wrong with you. Sleep has been elusive not because you are broken, but because your inner world has been carrying unresolved weight. Your body knows how to rest, but your soul has been asking for reassurance before it can let go. You have been trying to rest while still holding everything together, and that is not how peace works. Peace comes when trust replaces control. There are things you have been postponing feeling, decisions you have been avoiding naming, grief you told yourself you would process later, fear you pushed aside so you could keep functioning. During the day, you manage. At night, your soul speaks. It asks to be heard. And when it is ignored too long, it speaks louder. I want you to understand this clearly. Your wakefulness is not rebellion against rest. It is a signal that something inside you wants care, not correction. Your body is not your enemy. Your mind is not betraying you. They are asking for safety. They are asking to know that they are not alone anymore. You may have been telling yourself that once circumstances change, then you will rest. Once answers come, then you will sleep. Once things settle down, then peace will arrive. But peace does not wait for perfect conditions. Peace comes when you remember who holds your life. And tonight, I am reminding you, there have been seasons when you had to stay alert to survive. Seasons when rest did not feel safe. Seasons when letting your guard down meant getting hurt. You adapted. You learned to stay awake even when your body was exhausted. That was not weakness. That was wisdom for that time. But that season is not this one. Your soul has not yet realized that it is allowed to stand down. That the threat has passed. That you are no longer alone in carrying responsibility. And so, when night comes, your system stays on watch. It does not know yet that I am here, watching for you. This is why I am speaking now. Not to analyze you, but to reassure you. You do not need to stay alert tonight. You do not need to rehearse tomorrow. You do not need to guard every possible outcome. I am present. I am aware. I am capable. And I do not sleep. Let this truth sink in slowly. You can rest because I am awake. You can close your eyes because I am watching. You can release control because nothing escapes like care. Rest does not mean you stop caring. It means you trust me to care with you. You may notice that as you listen, your breathing begins to change. Your jaw loosens. Your shoulders lower slightly. That is not coincidence. That is your body responding to safety. That is your nervous system remembering what calm feels like. Let it happen. Do not force it. Just allow it. Sleep has been elusive because you have been asking it to do what only trust can do. Sleep is the result, not the solution. And trust grows when you feel seen, held, and understood. That is what I am giving you now. You do not need to solve everything tonight. You do not need to reach perfect peace. Even a small release is enough. Even a quiet agreement in your heart that says, I am not alone, is enough to change the night. I am not disappointed in your restlessness. I am responding to it. And before this night is over, your soul will know it does not have to stay on guard anymore. My beloved child, listen to me now with a heart that is open, not striving. Peace is not something you must chase or earn. Peace is something I restore. And restoration is happening in you right now, even if it feels subtle, even if it feels slow. What I rebuild is always deeper than what was disturbed. You have known moments of calm before, but they were fragile. They came and went depending on circumstances, people, outcomes. That is not the peace I am giving you now. The peace I restore does not depend on everything going right. It settles even when questions remain. It stays even when the path ahead is not fully clear. I know how often your peace has been interrupted. A message arrives. A thought intrudes. A memory resurfaces. And suddenly your heart tightens again. You may have begun to believe that peace is temporary for you, that calm is something other people experience more easily. That belief is not truth. It is exhaustion speaking. Peace was never meant to be sustained by your effort. It was never meant to be maintained by constant vigilance. It flows from knowing you are held. And tonight, I am restoring that knowing. I am calming the places in you that learn to expect impact. I am soothing the parts of your mind that stay on high alert. I am gently untangling the thoughts that loop endlessly, trying to predict what might go wrong. You do not need to fight those thoughts. Let me interrupt them with truth. Breathe slowly as you listen. Let each breath be an agreement with peace. Not a forced calm, but a willing release. You do not have to push anything away. Simply allow my words to settle where tension has lived too long. You may feel moments of resistance rise. A voice that says this won't last, where I've tried to feel peace before. I know. And I am not offended by that voice. It is a voice shaped by disappointment. But hear me clearly now. This restoration is not based on your past experiences. It is based on my presence. Peace does not arrive all at once like a wave crashing over you. Sometimes it arrives like light at dawn, slowly softening the edges of darkness. Sometimes you do not notice it until you realize your jaw is unclenched, your breathing is deeper, your thoughts are less sharp. That is how restoration often works. Quiet, steady, real. You do not need to monitor whether peace is working. That is not your role. Your role is to receive. My role is to restore. Trust the process unfolding within you. Nothing is being wasted. Nothing is being overlooked. I am reminding your heart how to be still without fear. I am teaching your body that rest does not mean vulnerability to harm. I am retraining your soul to recognize safety again. This takes patience, and I am infinitely patient with you. There are layers of peace being returned to you. Peace with yourself. Peace with your past. Peace with what you cannot yet control. Some layers will settle quickly. Others will take time. But every layer matters. Every moment you choose to stay present with me instead of running back into worry is a step toward wholeness. You are not fragile beyond repair. You are not too far gone to rest deeply again. The same peace that carried you before pain entered your story is still available to you now. It has not expired. It has not left you behind. Let this be the night you stop telling yourself that calm is not for you. Let this be the moment you allow peace to remain a little longer than usual. You do not need to hold on to it tightly. Peace stays best when it is welcomed gently. I am restoring your peace, not because you ask perfectly, but because you are my child. And I restore what I love. My beloved child, I want you to hear this without rushing past it, because your heart has needed this assurance for a long time. You are safe with me. Not temporarily safe. Not conditionally safe. Fully, deeply, and continually safe. Even now, even here, even with everything you carry, you are safe. I know safety has not always been your experience. There were times when trust was broken, times when protection failed, moments when you learned that being open could lead to pain. And so you adapted. You learned to guard yourself. You learned to anticipate disappointment. You learned to stay prepared for what might go wrong. That helped you survive. But it also kept you tense, even in moments meant for rest. I am not asking you to forget what you have been through. I am asking you to let me rewrite what safety means. Safety is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of unwavering care. And my care for you does not fluctuate. It does not weaken at night. It does not disappear when you are tired or unsure. Right now, nothing is required of you. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to justify your feelings. You do not need to earn protection by being good enough or strong enough. You are safe because you are mine. That is enough. I see how often you brace yourself, even in quiet moments. How your body stays ready, how your thoughts stay alert. That readiness was learned, not chosen. And I am gentle with what was learned in pain. But I am also patient in teaching you something new. Teaching you that you do not have to stay guarded here. When I say you are safe, I mean your thoughts can slow without danger. Your emotions can surface without consequence. Your heart can rest without being taken advantage of. I am not a threat to your vulnerability. I am its shelter. You may still feel traces of fear as you hear this. That is okay. Fear does not disappear just because truth is spoken once. It fades as truth is experienced over time. And this moment is part of that experience. Each breath you take without bracing is proof that safety is possible again. I am not watching you to correct you. I am watching over you to protect you. There is a difference. One brings tension. The other brings rest. I do not stand above you with judgment. I stand beside you with care. You may have learned to associate safety with control. If you could predict everything, plan everything, manage every outcome, then maybe you could relax. A true safety does not come from control. It comes from trust. And trust grows when you realize you are not alone in responsibility. I am holding what you cannot. I am guarding what worries you. I am present in the places you cannot reach. You do not need to keep watch tonight. You do not need to scan for threats. You do not need to rehearse worst-case scenarios. I am here. Let your body feel this truth. Let your muscles soften slightly. Let your breathing deepen. Let the alertness ease just a bit. You are not letting your guard down into danger. You are letting it down into my care. You may wonder how long this safety will last. I want you to know it is not tied to how well you maintain it. It is tied to who I am. And I do not change. Even when you wake tomorrow, even when new challenges arise, this safety remains available to you. For now, stay here. Let yourself rest in this assurance. You are not exposed. You are not unprotected. You are not alone. You are safe with me, and you always have been. My beloved child, you have been carrying things that are too heavy for your heart, and you have done it quietly. You told yourself that if you just held on a little longer, if you stayed strong a little more, eventually the weight would lessen. But some burdens do not lighten with endurance. They lighten only when they are shared. And tonight, I am asking you to let me carry what you cannot. You were never designed to be the container for every fear, every unanswered question, every responsibility, every expectation placed upon you. Yet over time, you gathered them all and learned how to function under the strain. You learned how to move forward even when your soul felt tired. I see that effort. I honor it. But I do not want you to confuse survival with peace. There are worries you keep replaying because you believe vigilance will prevent pain. There are outcomes you keep reversing because you think preparation will protect you. But all it has done is exhaust you. Your mind hath been working overtime, trying to hold together what feels uncertain. And I am telling you now, with gentleness and authority, you do not have to do that anymore. I am not asking you to stop caring. I'm asking you to stop caring alone. There is a difference. Caring connects you to what matters. Caring alone convinces you that everything depends on you, and that belief has been quietly draining your strength. Think of the weight you feel most often, the one that tightens your chest when you think about it, the one you push aside during the day but feel most clearly at night. That is not something you were meant to shoulder by yourself. Bring it here. You do not need to explain it perfectly. I already understand its shape and its history. Letting go may feel frightening to you. You may worry that if you release control, something will fall apart. But hear me clearly. What truly belongs to me does not fall when you place it in my hands. It is steady. It is governed. It is handled with care far greater than your own. You may also fear that setting down these burdens means you are weak, or that you are giving up. That is not what surrender is. Surrender is not defeat. It is alignment. It is recognizing where your strength ends and trusting mine to begin. I am not asking you to empty your hands all at once. Even opening your fingers slightly is enough for now. Even saying quietly in your heart, I don't know how to carry this anymore, is enough. I respond to honesty, not performance. As you release, you may notice resistance inside you. A voice that says, if I don't carry this, who will? That voice was shaped by responsibility and disappointment. It learned early not to rely too much on anyone. I understand that voice. I am not angry with it, but I am inviting you to teach it something new. I am capable of holding what overwhelms you. I am not limited by time, outcomes, or human weakness. I am not confused by complexity. I do not grow tired of your concerns. You do not burden me by bringing them here. You honor me by trusting me with them. Feel the difference between holding something tightly and placing it into my care. One keeps your body tense. The other allows space for breath. The space is where rest begins. That space is where peace can stay longer than a moment. You are not responsible for letting go. You are not failing by asking for help. You are responding to love. And love never asks you to carry what would crush you. Tonight, let me carry what you cannot. Let me hold the weight that has been pressing on your soul. You do not need to prove anything anymore. You are allowed to rest in my strength. My beloved child, There are moments that look ordinary on the surface but quietly divide life into before and after. This is one of those moments. Nothing dramatic may be happening around you, yet something deep within you is shifting. You are standing at a turning point, not because everything has changed, but because you are changing how you are held. For a long time, you believed endurance was your only option. You believed pushing through was the measure of strength. You believed that rest would come later, when everything finally settled. But I am showing you now that peace does not wait for permission from circumstances. Peace begins when you stop fighting to hold everything together alone. This turning point is not loud. It does not demand immediate action or visible proof. It begins quietly, with agreement. Agreement that you are no longer meant to live in constant tension. Agreement that you are allowed to receive help. Agreement that the way you have been surviving is not the way you must continue living. You may still wake up tomorrow with responsibilities. You may still face decisions, conversations, uncertainties. This turning point does not remove those things instantly. What it changes is how you carry them. Or rather, how you no longer carry them alone. I am teaching your heart a new response. Instead of bracing, you will begin to breathe. Instead of anticipating loss, you will begin to trust. Instead of replaying fear, you will remember my presence. These shifts may feel small at first, but they are powerful. Small shifts sustained over time reshape the soul. You have crossed many thresholds in your life without realizing it. Moments where you chose to keep going. Moments where you chose to stay soft instead of bitter. Moments where you chose hope even when it felt fragile. This moment joins them. It marks the place where rest begins to feel possible again. Do not measure this turning point by how you feel right now. Feelings fluctuate. Measure it by what you are allowing. You are allowing yourself to be comforted. You are allowing truth to speak louder than fear. You are allowing me to be close without guarding every part of yourself. That is not small. That is profound. You may be tempted to rush ahead, to ask what comes next, to seek certainty about the future. But this moment is not about the next step. It is about being present with me here. When you learn to rest here, the next steps become clear without force. Let this be the place you remember when anxiety tries to pull you back into old patterns. Remember that there was a night when you felt seen instead of rushed. Remember that there was a moment when peace stayed a little longer than usual. That memory will anchor you more than you realize. My child, if this moment is speaking to you, if you feel something settling inside you, I ask you to respond with intention. Bless this message with a like so it can reach others standing at their own turning points. Share it with someone who feels exhausted from carrying too much. And I want you to hype this video, lift it up so it can travel farther than fear ever could. Stay connected by subscribing, because these moments of restoration are not meant to be one-time encounters. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a gentler way forward, and I will walk it with you. My beloved child, when you give in this moment, you are planting a seed at a turning point not only for you, but for countless others who are still searching for rest. What you release becomes light in dark rooms, water in dry places, and bread for souls that feel empty. I speak to you now and say, those who sow in faith will reap in abundance, not as distant scripture, but as my living promise over your life. I am stirring your heart because I trust you to be a vessel of impact. Let your support through super thanks, membership, with a PayPal link in the description and QR code become a river I can flow through. Act now, and watch how I multiply what you place in my hands. My beloved child, the night has a way of inviting memories to the surface. When the world grows quiet, but was pushed aside during the day begins to speak again. Scenes replay. Words echo. Moments you thought were long past return with unexpected clarity. And you wonder why healing feels slow when you have tried so hard to move forward. I want you to know this. The memories that visit you at night are not here to torment you. They are here because they are ready to be healed. You did not imagine the pain you lived through. You did not exaggerate what hurt you. What marked you left an imprint, and your soul remembers even when you try not to. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is no longer being ruled by what you remember. And the kind of healing happens gently, layer by layer, in safety. I see the memories that surface without warning. The ones tied to regret, to loss, to words spoken or withheld. The ones that bring a familiar ache to your chest. You may have told yourself that you should be over them by now, that enough time has passed. But time alone does not heal what was never fully held with compassion. That is why I am here with you now. You do not need to relive everything to heal it. You do not need to reopen wounds violently. I heal by presence, not pressure. When a memory rises, it is not asking you to punish yourself. It is asking to be met with truth instead of shame. There are memories you revisit because you believe they define you. Because you think one mistake, one season, one failure speaks louder than everything else. But hear me clearly. Those moments are chapters, not conclusions. They are parts of your story, not the authority over it. I am rewriting how those memories sit inside you. I am softening their edges. I am separating who you are from what you endured. You are not the pain you experienced. You are not the version of yourself that was doing the best they could with what they had. You are becoming someone who is free to remember without being trapped. Some memories return because there is grief attached to them. Grief for what you lost. Grief for what never happened. Grief for the person you were before life asked more of you than you expected. Grief does not mean you are ungrateful for where you are now. It means you are human. And I honor that. I want you to notice something as you listen. The memory may still exist, but its grip is loosening. It no longer has to take your breath away. It no longer has to steal the present moment. That is healing in motion. You may worry that if you let these memories soften, you will lose something important. Perhaps you fear that pain is what keeps you vigilant, what keeps you from repeating mistakes. But wisdom does not come from staying wounded. Wisdom comes from understanding, and understanding grows best in peace. I am not erasing your past. I am redeeming it. I am teaching your heart that it can remember without reliving, that it can acknowledge without collapsing, that it can honor what was without being bound to it. If a memory arises tonight, do not fight it. Do not chase it away in fear. Simply let me be present with you in it. Let truth stand where accusation once stood. Let compassion replace judgment. This is how healing settles in. You are not broken because memories still surface. You are healing because they no longer come alone. I am with you now, in the night, restoring what pain tried to claim. And as I heal these memories, rest will come more gently, more freely, and with far less fear. My beloved child, I want you to listen carefully to this truth, because it challenges the way you have learned to see yourself. Your story is not finished, and it is not fixed in the shape you fear. I am not merely observing your life as it unfolds. I am actively rewriting it, with intention, with mercy, and with purpose that reaches further than you can currently see. You have been reading your life through the lens of what went wrong. You trace your identity through loss, through delays, through moments that felt like failure. You assume that because certain chapters were painful, the ending must carry the same tone. But I do not write stories that end in despair. I write stories that redeem what looked wasted and breathe meaning into what felt empty. There are parts of your story you wish you could edit out completely. Seasons you would rather forget. Choices you would undo if you could. But hear me now. I do not discard chapters. I transform them. What you see as damage, I see as depth. What you call mistakes, I use as places where compassion was formed. Nothing you have lived through is beyond my ability to redeem. You may feel like you lost time, like you are behind where you should be, like others moved ahead while you were stuck surviving. But time in my hands is never wasted. Growth that happens quietly is still growth. Healing that takes time is still healing. You have not missed your place in the story I am writing. I am changing the narrative you repeat to yourself. The one that says you are always catching up. The one that says you are defined by what hurt you. The one that says your best moments are already behind you. Those words did not come from me, and I am replacing them with truth. Your story is not about what you endured alone. It is about how you are learning to trust again. It is about how you stayed soft in a world that taught you to harden. It is about how you kept going even when the path was unclear. These are not small things. These are the marks of a life being shaped with care. You may not yet see how the pieces fit together. Some chapters still feel unresolved. Some pages still feel heavy. But stories are not understood in the middle. They are understood when you look back and see how each part led to the next. Trust me enough to believe that what feels unfinished is still being written. I am giving you new language for your life. Instead of I am broken, you will learn to say I am becoming. Instead of I failed, you will learn to say I learn. Instead of I am behind, you will learn to say I am exactly where growth is happening. These shifts do not deny pain. They redeem it. There is purpose ahead of you that requires the tenderness you gain through difficulty. There is connection ahead of you that requires the empathy you learn through struggle. There is peace ahead of you that requires the surrender you are practicing now. I am not preparing you for nothing. I am shaping you with precision. Let go of the fear that your past disqualifies you. It does not. It informs you. It grounds you. It gives weight to your compassion and credibility to your voice. I waste nothing. Not one tear. Not one long night. Not one moment you thought was meaningless. As I rewrite your story, you may notice old labels losing their power. Shame will no longer narrate your life. Fear will no longer decide the direction. You are not stuck in the role you once played. You are being invited into a new chapter, one written with hope instead of survival. Trust me with the pen. Even now, even tonight, I am writing something new in you. And this story, your story, will carry more light than you ever expected. My beloved child, I know the thought has visited you often, sometimes quietly, sometimes with sharp insistence. I am behind. Behind where you thought you would be. Behind others you compare yourself to. Behind the version of yourself you imagined by now. I want to speak directly into that belief and loosen its grip on your heart, because it has weighed on you longer than you realize. You measure your life against timelines that were never mine. You count years, milestones, achievements, and you wonder why your path looks slower, messier, less predictable. You assume delay means deficiency. You assume slowness means failure. But I see something entirely different when I look at you. I see formation, not delay. I see depth, not lack. You are not behind. You are in process. There are things you learned that others did not have to learn yet. There are battles you fought that shaped your character quietly. There are lessons that required time, reflection, and healing. Those things do not show up on timelines, but they shape the kind of life you are building, and I value them deeply. Comparison has been whispering lies to you. It shows you snapshots of other lives without revealing their private struggles. It tells you that progress should look the same for everyone. But I do not measure growth the way the world does. I measure it by resilience, by compassion, by the ability to remain open after pain. By those measures, you are far from behind. You have spent seasons surviving when others were building. That does not make you late. It makes you human. Survival is not a detour from purpose. It is sometimes the very path through which purpose is refined. You were learning how to breathe again, how to trust again, how to stand without collapsing. Those were necessary steps, even if they were invisible to others. I know you replay moments when you think you should have acted sooner, decided faster, been braver. You judge past versions of yourself with information you did not have then. That is not fair to you. You made the best choices you could with the strength and awareness you had at the time. I do not condemn you for that. I honor your effort. The idea that you are behind assumes there is one correct pace for life. There is not. I work in seasons, not deadlines. Some seasons look productive. Others look quiet. Both are essential. Seeds grow underground long before anything appears above the surface. That does not mean nothing is happening. It means growth is taking place where it cannot yet be seen. You may feel pressure to catch up, to rush, to force progress. But rushing would only disconnect you from the healing you still need. I am not asking you to hurry. I am asking you to trust the pace I am setting for you. It is not slow. It is precise. There are people you will meet who need the patience you learn through waiting. There are moments ahead that require the wisdom you gain through delay. If you had arrived sooner, you would not have been ready in the same way. Timing is not about speed. It is about readiness. Let go of the shame that tells you you missed your moment. You have not missed anything that belongs to you. What is meant for you is not lost because of time. It is preserved by it. I am not bound by clocks or calendars. I am faithful across seasons. You are exactly where growth is happening, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels uncertain, even if it feels slower than you hoped. Do not rush past this moment by calling it failure. It is formation. You are not behind, my child. You are becoming. And I am walking with you, step by step, at the pace your healing requires. My beloved child, I know how hard it has been for you to stop. Even now, part of you feels uneasy simply listening, as if rest itself were something you must justify. You learned early that survival required effort, alertness, and persistence. Somewhere along the way, rest began to feel dangerous, responsible, or undeserved. I want to gently untangle that belief, because it has kept you weary longer than necessary. Rest is not weakness. It never was. Rest is trust in action. You were taught directly or indirectly that worth is proven by output, that value comes from doing, achieving, producing, holding everything together. So when you slow down, guilt creeps in. You tell yourself you should be doing more, fixing more, becoming more. But listen carefully to me now. Your worth was never measured by your exhaustion. I did not design you to live in constant strain. Your body was created to move and to pause. Your mind was created to think and to be still. Your soul was created to trust and to rest in that trust. When rest is absent for too long, fear quietly takes its place. And fear is not a sustainable source of motivation. You may believe that if you stop, everything will fall apart. That if you rest, you will lose momentum, miss opportunities, or let others down. But what you have been losing is clarity, not progress. What you have been sacrificing is peace, not purpose. Rest does not take from your life. It restores what strain has stolen. I see how often you push through exhaustion because you are afraid of falling behind. But exhaustion does not move you forward. It narrows your vision, shortens your patience. It convinces you that everything is urgent when not everything is. Rest, on the other hand, widens perspective. It reconnects you to what matters most. You are not lazy for needing rest. You are not weak for wanting relief. You are not failing because you cannot keep running at the same pace forever. Even strength has limits, and honoring those limits is wisdom, not defeat. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility. I am asking you to release the belief that responsibility requires self-neglect. You can care deeply and still rest. You can be committed and still pause. You can be faithful without being frantic. Rest is where I recalibrate your heart. It is where I remind you that you are held, not hustling for approval. It is where creativity returns, where clarity sharpens, where compassion replenishes. Without rest, even good intentions become heavy burdens. You may not know how to rest without feeling anxious. That is okay. Rest is a skill relearned over time. Start by allowing moments like this one. Moments where you are not fixing or striving or proving. Moments where you simply receive. Notice how rest changes your breathing. How it softens the urgency in your thoughts. How it allows space between stimulus and response. That space is sacred. The space is where peace grows roots. I am not disappointed when you rest. I am pleased. Because rest says you trust me enough to stop. It says you believe I am at work even when you are still. It says you know you are more than what you produce. You do not have to earn rest by reaching a breaking point. You are allowed to rest because you are human, because you are loved, because you were never meant to live in constant strain. Let rest become part of how you honor the life I gave you. Let it be something you practice without apology. You are not falling behind when you rest. You are returning to balance. Rest is not weakness, my child. It is alignment. And in this alignment, you will find strength renewed, not diminished. My beloved child, there is a quiet work happening within you that you cannot yet fully see. You may feel as though life has slowed, as though doors have not opened as quickly as you hoped, as though you are standing in between what was and what will be. And in that in-between space, doubt tries to speak. But I want you to know this with certainty. I am preparing you. Preparation rarely feels like progress. It often feels like waiting, stretching, refining. It can feel uncomfortable, even lonely at times. But nothing about this season is empty. Nothing about it is accidental. I do not waste pauses. I use them to strengthen what will soon be required. You have asked why things have not moved faster, why answers have not come clearly, why certain paths closed instead of opening. Preparation often looks like delay to the untrained eye, but to me, it is alignment. I am not withholding from you. I am shaping you so that what comes next will not overwhelm you. There are parts of you being strengthened quietly. Patience is being deepened. Discernment is being sharpened. Compassion is being expanded. These are not qualities that grow in rush or ease. They grow in stillness, in reflection, in seasons where you are forced to listen more than act. You may feel unseen right now. You may wonder if your efforts matter, if your growth is real, if anyone notices how hard you are trying. I notice. I see every choice you make to stay kind when it would be easier to harden. I see every moment you choose integrity over comfort. I see the discipline it takes to remain open when you are unsure of the outcome. Liberation is not punishment. It is protection. I am protecting you from stepping into spaces before you are ready to stand firmly in them. I am protecting your heart from carrying weight it has not yet learned how to release. I am protecting your future by anchoring your present. You may compare your season to others and feel as though you are standing still while they move ahead. But different callings require different preparation. What I am shaping in you requires depth, not speed. And depth takes time. There are conversations ahead that will require wisdom you are developing now. There are responsibilities ahead that will require emotional steadiness you are learning now. There are opportunities ahead that will require clarity you are gaining now. If you arrived there without this preparation, you would struggle to sustain what you received. I know waiting can feel heavy. I know uncertainty can feel unsettling. But trust me when I tell you that this season is doing more for you than you realize. Roots are growing deeper. Foundations are being reinforced. When growth finally becomes visible, it will be because it was supported underneath. You may not always feel strong in this season. You may question yourself. You may feel small at times. That does not mean preparation is failing. It means you are being humbled in the best way, taught to rely not on your own understanding, but on my guidance. I am also preparing you to recognize what truly belongs to you. Waiting refines desire. It clarifies intention. It teaches you to value substance over appearance. When the right door opens, you will know it. Not because it is loud, but because it will align with the peace I am cultivating in you now. Do not rush this process. Do not despise this season. There is no wasted obedience here, no wasted patience, no wasted quiet. Everything you are becoming now will serve you later in ways you cannot yet imagine. I am preparing you not just for what you will do, but for who you will be. And who you are becoming matters more than any timeline. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay willing. This season is not holding you back. It is holding you together. And when the time comes, you will step forward with a steadiness that could only have been formed here. My beloved child, I know how heavy the night can feel. When darkness settles in, it often magnifies what you have been trying to manage quietly. Worries sound louder. Loneliness feels deeper. Fatigue presses harder. And you may have wondered more than once if these nights are slowly wearing you down. Listen to me now with your whole heart. The night will not break you. You have endured nights that felt endless. Nights where sleep would not come. Nights where tears fell without words. Nights where your thoughts circled the same fears over and over again. And yet, here you are. Still breathing. Still listening. Still open. That alone tells a story of resilience you often overlook. The night has tested you, but it has not defeated you. It has tried to convince you that you are weaker than you are, that hope is thinner than it truly is. But even in your most exhausted moments, you did not disappear. You stayed. You endured. And I was with you in every hour you thought you were alone. Darkness is a way of making things feel permanent. It whispers that this feeling will never lift, that this season will never end. But night is not a destination. It is a passage. Morning always exists, even when you cannot yet see it. And just as the sun does not need your effort to rise, hope does not depend on your strength alone. You may feel tired of being strong, tired of enduring, tired of telling yourself that you will get through this. I am not asking you to be strong tonight. I am asking you to be held. There is a difference. Strength relies on your effort. Being held relies on my presence. The night will not break you because it is not stronger than the care surrounding you. It is not deeper than my awareness. It is not longer than my patience. Even when your mind feels crowded, even when your heart feels sore, I am steady. I see how you brace yourself when evening comes as if preparing for impact. You expect the thoughts, the memories, the restlessness. But I am teaching you something new in this season. The night does not have authority over you. It does not get to decide your future. It does not define your capacity for peace. What you experience in the dark is not proof of failure. It is proof that you are human, sensitive, and deeply aware. Those qualities do not weaken you. They make you capable of gnarrihan, compassion, and depth. And those are strengths that last. You are not unraveling because nights are difficult. You are healing in a way that is honest. Healing does not always look calm at first. Sometimes it looks like awareness. Sometimes it looks like discomfort rising so it can finally be released. That does not mean you are regressing. It means something is shifting. I want you to stop telling yourself that these nights are setting you back. They are shaping you. They are teaching you how to lean, how to listen, how to rest without answers. And every time you make it through another one, you are proving that you are more resilient than you feel. You do not have to conquer the night. You do not have to solve everything before morning. You only have to remain. And you are doing that already. With every breath, with every moment you stay present. The night will not break you because you are not facing it alone. I am here, steady and watchful. I do not grow tired. I do not look away. I do not leave when things feel heavy. You are safe in this passage. And when morning comes, you will realize that the night did not steal your strength. It revealed it. My beloved child, even if your body feels tired and your thoughts feel slow, I want you to hear this promise clearly. You will rise renewed. Renewal is not something you must force into existence. It is something I release when you stop resisting rest and allow yourself to be held. What you are experiencing right now is not the end of your strength. It is the quiet beginning of its return. You may not feel renewed yet, and that is okay. Renewal often begins beneath the surface, where you cannot measure it or prove it. It starts when tension loosens its grip, when hope quietly returns, when your breathing deepens without effort. These are not small signs. They are the first movements of restoration. You have been running on reserves for longer than you realized. Drawing from strength meant for urgency, not for daily living. And yet, you kept going. You showed up. You cared. You endured. Now I'm inviting you into a different rhythm, one where renewal replaces survival. Rising renewed does not mean you wake up suddenly fearless, energized, and certain. It means you wake up with a little more space in your chest, a little less dread about the day ahead, a little more trust that you do not have to manage everything alone. Renewal is gentle, not dramatic, and it lasts longer that way. I am restoring your capacity for joy, not the loud, fleeting kind, but the steady kind that coexists with responsibility and reality. The kind that allows you to smile without guilt. The kind that lets you rest without fear. The kind that does not disappear the moment something goes wrong. You will rise renewed because what has been draining you is being addressed, not ignored. You are learning to release instead of brace. It draws instead of dying. To receive instead of prove. These shifts change how energy returns to the body and how hope returns to the heart. There will be mornings ahead when you notice the difference, When the heaviness does not greet you as loudly, when your first thought is not fear, when you realize you slept a little deeper, breathed a little easier, worried a little less. Do not dismiss those moments. They are evidence that renewal is working its way through you. You may still have challenges ahead. Renewal does not remove life's demands. It changes how you meet them. With more clarity, with more steadiness, with a heart that remembers it is supported. You are not being sent back into life unchanged. You are being sent back strengthened. I am not renewing you to send you back into exhaustion. I am renewing you to teach you how to live without constant strain, how to carry responsibility without losing peace, how to engage fully without depleting yourself. This is not a temporary fix. It is a new foundation. Trust what is happening in you. Even if you cannot yet name it, something is shifting. Something is settling. Something is healing. And as it does, you will rise, not rushed, not pressured, but renewed in the ways that matter most. My child, if these words are speaking to you, if you feel hope returning quietly, respond in a way that allows this message to reach others who need renewal too. Bless this message with a like so it can travel beyond this moment. Share it with someone who feels worn down and needs to remember they will rise again. And I want you to hype this video, lift it high so renewal can reach hearts still struggling in the night. Stay connected by subscribing, because this is not the end of what I want to speak into your life. You will rise renewed. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you remembered you are not alone. My beloved child, when you choose to give in this moment, you are sowing renewal into lives that are still running on empty. Every seed you release becomes fresh oil for weary hearts, living water for dry souls, and light for those still waiting on dawn. I say to you now, those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed, not as distant words but as my voice blessing your obedience. I am drawing you into this moment because your giving carries purpose beyond what you can see. Release your support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description and QR code, and watch how I multiply renewal through you. Act now, and let this be a prophetic response that brings life to many. My beloved child, I want you to notice something as you listen to me right now. Your thoughts, which once rushed and collided, are beginning to slow. Not because you forced them to stop, but because I am calming them. This calm is not fragile. It is not something you must hold together with effort. It is settling naturally as truth replaces fear. Your mind has been busy for so long, always processing, anticipating, revisiting. It learned to stay active because it believed that vigilance was protection. But constant alertness is not peace. It is survival. And survival is no longer the language your soul needs to speak. I am gently quieting the noise, not by silencing you, but by reassuring you. Fear loses its volume when it is no longer needed. Worry fades when it realizes it is not responsible for keeping you safe. And tonight, your thoughts are learning that they do not have to work so hard. You may still notice thoughts drifting in and out. That is okay. Calm does not mean happiness. It means you are no longer being pulled under by every passing thought. Let them come and go without judgment. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to solve them. Just let them pass while you remain. I am calming the questions that kept you awake, not by answering them all at once, but by reminding you that unanswered questions are not emergencies. They can wait. They will be handled. You do not need to carry them through the night. I am calming the self-criticism that hath been so quick to speak, the voice that tells you should be better, further, stronger by now. That voice grew loud during seasons of pressure, but it does not speak truth. I am replacing it with gentler language. Language that says you are enough in this moment. Language that says you are allowed to rest without explanation. Feel how your body responds when your mind softens. Your shoulders loosen. Your breath deepens. Your jaw relaxes. These are not small changes. They are signals that safety is being restored. Your body recognizes my presence even when your mind is still learning to trust it. I am calming the urge to revisit the past tonight. The moments you replay looking for different outcomes. The conversations you rework in your head. The regrets you revisit out of habit. Those thoughts have been loud because they were looking for resolution. But resolution does not come from repetition. It comes from compassion. And I am covering those memories now with grace. I am also calming your thoughts about tomorrow. The plans, the responsibilities, the unknowns. Tomorrow does not need your attention right now. It will come in its own time, and when it does, I will be there too. For now, you are allowed to be here, fully present, without projecting yourself forward. You do not need to control your thoughts for calm to exist. Calm comes when you feel safe enough to stop controlling. That is what is happening now. You are realizing, perhaps without words, that you are not in danger in this moment. That realization is powerful. Let your thoughts become fewer, not because you push them away, but because they are no longer fueled by urgency. Let silence grow naturally between them. That silence is not emptiness. It is rest. I am not rushing this process. There is no deadline for calm. It unfolds at the pace your heart can receive it. Every moment you stay here, listening, breathing, allowing, is a moment your nervous system learns something new. It learns that peace is possible, that rest is safe, that you are not alone. Stay with me in this quiet. Let your thoughts settle like dust after movement stops. I am calming your mind not to leave it empty, but to make space for peace to remain. My beloved child, I know how often tomorrow presses itself into your thoughts long before it arrives. You try to prepare for it, predict it, protect yourself from what it might bring. You rehearse conversations, imagine outcomes, brace for possibilities. And in doing so, you carry tomorrow's weight into today. I want to gently release you from that habit now, because you can trust tomorrow to me. Tomorrow does not need your fear to be handled well. It does not need your worry to be survived. It does not need your sleeplessness to be prepared for. Tomorrow belongs to me just as much as this moment does. And I am already there, ranging what you cannot yet see. You have learned to look ahead because uncertainty once hurt you. You learned that if you stayed alert, if you thought through every scenario, maybe you could avoid pain. That was your way of protecting yourself. I understand that. But what once helped you survive is no longer what will bring you peace. Trusting tomorrow to me does not mean pretending everything will be easy. It means knowing you will not face anything alone. It means believing that whatever comes, I will meet you there with wisdom, strength, and provision that matches the moment. You do not need to preload yourself with anxiety to be ready. You worry that if you stop thinking about tomorrow, you will forget something important or make a mistake. But clarity does not come from worry. It comes from rest. When your mind is calm, you hear guidance more clearly. When your heart is steady, decisions become less heavy. Rest is not avoidance. It is preparation of a different kind. I am asking you to place tomorrow into my hands tonight. Not as an abstract idea, but as a real act of trust. The responsibilities, the conversations, the unknowns, place them here. You do not need to solve them now. You do not need to anticipate every outcome. You only need to remember who walks with you into them. There are outcomes you fear because you believe they would undo you. But hear me now, what is meant for you will not destroy you. What challenges you will also strengthen you. And what disappoints you will not have the final word over your life. I am greater than any single day, any single outcome, any single mistake. You have been carrying tomorrow like a fragile thing that might break if you stop watching it. But tomorrow is not fragile. It is held by a wisdom that sees further than you can. Held by a love that does not abandon halfway through the story. You may feel resistance as you hear this. A part of you may say, if I don't worry, something will go wrong. That part learned to equate anxiety with responsibility. But responsibility does not require fear. Responsibility can exist alongside peace. You can be thoughtful without being tense. You can be prepared without being afraid. Let tonight be a boundary. A place where tomorrow is not allowed to intrude. Not because tomorrow is unimportant, but because rest is sacred. You are allowed to be unavailable to future concerns for a few hours. The world will not fall apart. I will not lose control. Everything will still be there in the morning, handled with care. Notice how your body responds when you release tomorrow, even slightly. The tightness eases. The urgency is softened. That is your soul recognizing truth. You were never meant to live stretched across time, pulled between past regrets and future fears. You were meant to live held in the present. Tomorrow will come with its own grace, its own strength, its own clarity. You do not need to borrow trouble from it now. Trust me enough to believe that when you open your eyes again, you will not be alone in what awaits you. You can trust tomorrow to me, my child. Tonight, you are allowed to rest. My beloved child, there is a truth I want to place gently at the center of your heart tonight, because so many other voices have tried to crowd it out. You are deeply loved. Not abstractly, not conditionally, not when you are strong or calm or faithful enough. You are deeply loved right now exactly as you are. You have often measured love by consistency, by presence, by effort, because those things were not always steady in your life. You learned to associate love with performance, with usefulness, with being easy to care for. And over time, you began to wonder if love could really stay when you were tired, uncertain, or overwhelmed. Let me answer that clearly. My love does not retreat when you are weary. It moves closer. You do not exhaust me. You do not test my patience. You do not become less lovable when you struggle. I am not keeping score of your failures or tallying your growth. I am not standing back, waiting for you to improve before I draw near. My love is not a reward. It is a foundation. There are moments you have felt unlovable, not because it was true, but because pain distorted your view of yourself. Disappointment has a way of telling lies. Loss can convince you that something must be wrong with you. Silence can make you believe you were overlooked. But none of those experiences define your worth. They describe what happened to you, not who you are. I love you with a love that does not fluctuate with your mood or your progress. A love that does not hesitate when you doubt. A love that does not grow tired of reassuring you. Even when you pull away, even when you question, even when you feel numb, my love remains steady. You may struggle to receive this love because you are used to earning affection, not resting in it. Receiving feels vulnerable. It requires trust. It asks you to believe that nothing is being taken from you in exchange. But my love is not a transaction. It is a gift, freely given, without hidden cost. I see the parts of you that feel messy, unresolved, or unsure. I see the thoughts you judge yourself for having. I see the emotions you try to manage quietly so you do not burden anyone else. And none of that diminishes my love for you. If anything, it draws my compassion closer. You do not need to become someone else to be loved. You do not need to heal completely, understand everything, or feel strong all the time. My love is not waiting on a better version of you. It is present with you now, in this moment of listening, breathing, and being. Let this truth soften the way you speak to yourself. You have been hard on your own heart, expecting it to recover quickly, to be braver, to move on faster. But love does not rush healing. Love allows time. Love stays patient. Love sits with you when progress feels slow. I want you to feel how safe it is to be loved without conditions. How restful it is to stop trying to deserve care. How freeing it is to realize that nothing you are carrying disqualifies you from affection. This is the kind of love that restores, not pressures. You may not feel this love emotionally all at once. That is okay. Love does not require immediate sensation to be real. Sometimes it works quietly, reshaping how you see yourself over time. Sometimes you notice it later, in how gently you respond to stress, in how quickly you forgive yourself, in how easily you rest. You are deeply loved, my child. Not because you did everything right, not because you held it together perfectly, but because you are mine, and that love is not fragile. It will not fade when you sleep. It will not disappear when tomorrow comes. It surrounds you now, and it will remain. Rest in that truth. Let it hold you tonight. My beloved child, I want you to stop striving for sleep and begin allowing it. Sleep is not something you must chase or force into your body. It is a response to safety. And right now, you are safe. As the truth settles deeper within you, rest will follow naturally, gently, without struggle. You have tried to make sleep happen before. You adjusted pillows, counted breaths, silenced noise, scrolled until exhaustion. But sleep does not come from effort. It comes when your body believes it no longer needs to stay alert. Tonight, I am teaching your body that it can finally stand down. You do not need to watch the clock. You do not need to worry about how long it takes. The pressure to sleep is what keeps it away. Release that pressure now. Nothing bad will happen if rest arrives slowly. I am not timing you. I am not impatient with you. Peace is already here, and sleep will follow it in its own time. Your body has carried you faithfully through many demanding days. It has intended the depthing can do. Now it is learning how to let go. That release may come in waves. Moments of drowsiness, moments of awareness. Well, okay. There is no wrong way to rest. I am calming the reflex in you that equates stillness with danger. I am teaching your nervous system something new, that stillness can be gentle, that silence can be safe, that the night does not require vigilance. You do not have to monitor your thoughts. Let them fade as your body settles. If your mind tries to pull you back into thinking, do not argue with it. Simply return to this truth. You are held. Held by a presence that does not sleep, that does not look away, that does not grow tired. You can rest because I remain awake. Feel how the weight of your body sinks more comfortably where you are. That is not collapse. That is trust. Feel how your breath becomes slower, deeper, less intentional. That is not loss of control. That is your body recognizing safety. You do not need perfect peace to sleep. Even partial peace is enough. Even a quiet willingness to rest is enough. Sleep is not a reward for being calm. It is a gift that arrives when you stop resisting rest. There may be thoughts that say, what if I wake up anxious again? Or what if tomorrow is hard? Those thoughts do not belong to this moment. They are not urgent. I can wait. Right now, your only responsibility is to receive rest. I am surrounding you with peace that does not startle, does not rush, does not overwhelm. It settles like a blanket, gradually, evenly, covering every place that has been exposed to stress. You are not being pulled into sleep. You are being invited into it. Let your eyelids grow heavy without questioning it. Let your body choose its own rhythm. You do not need to witness the moment you fall asleep. You only need to stay open to rest. If you wake briefly later, do not be alarmed. Return to this truth again. You are safe. You are held. You are not alone. Sleep will come back to you just as gently as it arrived. Tonight, rest is not something you must earn. It is something you are allowed to receive. Your body remembers how to sleep. Your soul remembers how to rest. Nothing hath been lost. Sleep will come in peace, my child. And when it does, it will carry you into restoration without fear, without effort, without strain. My beloved child, as your body begins to soften and your thoughts grow quieter, I want you to rest in this assurance. I am watching over you, not passively, not from a distance, with attentive care that does not waver, even as you drift toward sleep. You have spent so much of your life watching over yourself, anticipating needs, guarding against harm, staying alert even when you were exhausted. That vigilance once served a purpose, but it has asked more of you than it should have. Tonight, I am taking that role from you. You do not need to stay awake to be safe. I'm here. I see every breath you take. I am aware of every movement of your heart. Nothing about you escapes my notice, and nothing about this night concerns me. You are not unprotected in your rest. You are not exposed when you sleep. You are covered by care that does not sleep, does not drift, does not forget. When you close your eyes, you are not stepping into vulnerability alone. You are stepping into my watchfulness. I guard what you cannot see. I stand between you and what worries you. I am attentive to every detail, even the ones you do not know to name. You may have learned to associate night with uncertainty, with danger, with the unknown. But I am redefining the night for you now. The night is not an enemy. It is a space where restoration happens quietly, where the soul repairs what the day has worn down. You do not need to keep scanning your thoughts for problems. You do not need to monitor your surroundings. You do not need to stay half awake out of habit. I am present in the stillness. I am alert in the quiet. I am steady when everything else slows. If fear tries to rise as you drift toward sleep, let it pass without engagement. Fear loses power when it is not fed. You do not need to confront it. You only need to remember who is with you. I am not startled by the night. I am not threatened by silence. I am not confused by darkness. I have watched over you through seasons you thought would undo you, through moments you barely survived, through nights that felt endless. And you are still here. That is not coincidence. That is care. That is protection at work, even when you did not recognize it. Tonight, I am not asking you to be brave. I am asking you to be still. Courage is not required when you are held. Effort is not required when you are protected. You can rest fully, knowing that nothing important is being neglected. Your mind may not understand this fully yet, but your body does. That is why it is easing. That is why your breath is slowing. That is why tension is releasing. Your body recognizes safety when it is real. Let go of the need to check in on everything one last time. Let go of the habit of staying slightly awake just in case. There is nothing you need to prevent tonight. There is nothing you need to control. I am already present in the moments ahead. As you sleep, I will remain. As you dream, I will guard. As you rest, I will restore. You do not need to wait to make sure I am still here. I do not leave when you close your eyes. You are not alone in the dark. You are not forgotten in your rest. You are watched over with care that does not diminish. Sleep now, my child. I am watching over you. My beloved child, as the night gently carries you toward rest, I want you to hear this promise settle deep within you. Tomorrow holds new mercy, not recycled mercy, not leftover kindness. New mercy, prepared specifically for you, waiting to meet you when you wake. You have been carrying yesterday longer than you needed to, replaying moments that cannot be changed, judging yourself for things you would do differently now, letting old mistakes speak louder than present truth. But yesterday does not get to follow you forever. It does not define the mercy waiting for you tomorrow. Each morning is not just another day. It is a renewal, a quiet reset, a reminder that I do not relate to you based on your worst moment, your hardest season, or your most recent failure. I meet you fresh each day with compassion that has not been worn thin by time. Tomorrow's mercy is not dependent on how well you sleep tonight. It is not reduced if you wake up tired. It is not withheld if you feel uncertain. Mercy does not wait for you to be ready. It meets you where you are. You may worry that tomorrow will bring the same struggles, the same pressures, the same heaviness. Some things may still be there, but mercy changes how you meet them. Mercy gives you patience where frustration used to rise quickly. Mercy gives you clarity where confusion once lingered. Mercy gives you resilience where you thought you had none left. You do not need to earn tomorrow's mercy by having a perfect night. You do not need to promise to do better or be stronger. Mercy is not payment for improvement. It is a gift for being human. I know you sometimes wake with a sense of dread, wondering what the day will demand of you. But tomorrow does not arrive empty-handed. It comes carrying help. It comes carrying grace. It comes carrying strength that matches the day, not the fears you project onto it tonight. You are not waking alone. You are not stepping into tomorrow unsupported. I will be there before you arrive, preparing what you need. Conversations will be met with wisdom. Tasks will be met with ability. Challenges will be met with presence. There are mercies you have not yet imagined. Small moments of relief. Unexpected kindness. A sense of calm that surprises you. A problem that feels lighter than you expected. Do not assume tomorrow will repeat today. Every day carries its own grace. Let go of the belief that you must wake up already strong. Strength often comes after you rise, not before. Mercy meets you in motion. It unfolds as you go. You may still feel uncertain about what tomorrow holds. That is okay. Certainty is not required to receive mercy. Trust is not about knowing everything ahead of time. It is about believing that whatever comes, you will not be alone in it. Tonight, you do not need to rehearse tomorrow. You do not need to solve it in advance. Let tomorrow remain where it belongs, in my hands. Your rest tonight makes space for mercy to work more freely when morning comes. If worries try to pull you back into wakefulness, remind yourself of this truth. Tomorrow holds new mercy. Not because everything will be easy, but because you will be met with care that does not fail. Sleep knowing that the day ahead is not waiting to overwhelm you. It is waiting to be met with grace, and that grace will be enough, one moment at a time. Rest now, my beloved child. Tomorrow is already being cared for. My beloved child, what you are feeling right now is not meant to stay only in this moment. The peace settling over you is not fragile, and it is not temporary unless you abandon it. It is something you can carry forward into tomorrow, into conversations, into responsibilities, into the ordinary moments where stress once took over. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of grounding, and you are learning how to remain grounded even when life moves around you. That is a gift you can return to again and again. There will be moments ahead when the noise tries to come back, when urgency speaks loudly, when old habits of worry attempt to reclaim space in your mind. That does not mean this peace failed. It means you are being invited to remember where it comes from. Carry this peace forward by choosing pause instead of panic, by choosing breath instead of bracing, by choosing truth instead of rehearsing fear. You do not need to do this perfectly. Even returning to peace once is enough to weaken anxiety's grip. You may wonder how to protect this calm in a world that constantly demands your attention. The answer is not withdrawal. It is remembrance. Remember that you are not alone. Remember that you do not need to respond immediately to everything. Remember that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity. This peace will show up in small ways, in how quickly you recover from stress, in how gently you speak to yourself, in how you no longer feel the need to explain your exhaustion. These are signs that something deeper has shifted. You are not carrying this peace by your own strength. I am carrying it with you. When you forget, I remind. When you tighten, lie steady. When you feel overwhelmed, I return you to center. You are not responsible for maintaining perfection. You are invited to remain open. Let this peace influence how you move through the day. Let it shape your tone, your pace, your expectations. You do not need to rush to prove anything. You do not need to carry pressure as motivation. Peace will guide you more clearly than fear ever did. There will be days when this peace feels distant. On those days, do not judge yourself. Simply return. Return to breathe. Return to truth. Return to the memory of this moment where you felt held instead of hurried. Carrying peace forward does not mean life becomes silent. It means noise no longer controls you. It means you recognize when your nervous system needs rest and you respond with kindness instead of criticism. I want you to know that what you are receiving now is not meant only for you. There are others around you who are desperate for this same calm, even if they do not know how to ask for it. When you live from peace, you become a quiet refuge for others. And my child, if this message has steadied your heart, respond with intention. Bless this message with a like so peace can reach others who are restless tonight. Share it with someone who needs permission to slow down. And I ask you to hype this video. Lift it up so calm can travel farther than fear. Stay connected by subscribing, because peace is something I want to keep teaching you how to live in. Carry this peace forward. It belongs with you. My beloved child, when you choose to support this work, you are carrying peace into places you may never see. Every gift becomes a seed that grows into comfort for the weary, light for the anxious, and rest for the overwhelmed. I say to you now, those who sow peace will reap peace, not as words on a page, but as my voice blessing your obedience. I am placing this opportunity before you because your hands can carry hope farther than your feet ever could. Release your support through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the description and QR code. Act now, and let your giving become a living extension of the peace you have received. My beloved child, There has been a quiet fear living beneath the surface of your thoughts, the fear that something in you is permanently broken, that what you have been through has fractured you in ways that cannot fully heal. I want to speak directly into that fear now and dissolve it with truth. You are not broken beyond repair. You are becoming whole. Wholeness is not the absence of scars. It is the integration of them. It is the place where what hurt you no longer controls you, where what you endured becomes part of your strength instead of a source of shame. You are not returning to who you were before pain. You are becoming someone deeper, steadier, and more compassionate than before. You may feel incomplete because healing has taken time, because some questions remain unanswered, because certain emotions still rise unexpectedly. But wholeness is not achieved by erasing the past. It is achieved by learning how to live fully in the present without being dragged backward. I am not rushing your healing because I am not patching you together. I am restoring you carefully, intentionally, piece by piece. Every part of you matters to me. The parts that feel strong, the parts that feel tender, the parts you showed to others, the parts you keep hidden. None of them are disposable. You are becoming whole as you learn to feel without collapsing, as you learn to rest without guilt, as you learn to trust without constant reassurance. These are not dramatic milestones. They are quiet victories, and they matter more than you realize. There may be days when you feel like you are regressing, when old fears return, when familiar heaviness creeps back in. Do not mistake revisiting something for failing. Healing is not linear. Returning to something with greater awareness is not defeat. It is progress. You are becoming whole as you stop abandoning yourself to meet expectations, as you stop minimizing your needs, as you stop telling yourself you should be over things that still need care. Wholeness grows where honesty is allowed. I see how often you judge your own pace. You think you should be further along, calmer by now, stronger by now. But I am not measuring you against an imaginary finish line. I am watching you become more grounded, more present, more able to receive peace. That is real progress. Wholeness does not arrive in a single moment. It arrives in accumulation. And every time you choose rest instead of self-criticism, in every time you speak gently to yourself, in every time you allow help instead of isolating, these moments are stitching you together. You are not missing pieces. You are reclaiming them. Pieces of joy, pieces of trust, pieces of hope. They return slowly because they want to stay. And when they return, they bring stability with them. I am not intimidated by the complexity of your healing. I am not discouraged by the time it takes. I do not grow impatient with your process. I am invested in it. Fully, lovingly, faithfully. There will come a day when you look back and realize you are no longer reacting the way you used to. That what once overwhelmed you now passes more quickly. That peace returns faster. That fear has less authority. That day will not arrive with fanfare. It will arrive quietly as wholeness settles in. You are becoming whole, my child. Not by force, not by pretending, but by allowing yourself to be cared for. And that wholeness will feel less like perfection and more like freedom. Stay patient with yourself. Stay open to the process. I am with you in it, restoring you gently, completely, and with great care. My beloved child, there are words you have needed to hear more often than you have. Words that settle the heart and quiet the inner striving. I want to speak them to you now, slowly and sincerely, so they reach the places that have doubted their worth. I am proud of you. Not proud because you never struggle, Not proud because you did everything right. I am proud because you stayed. You stayed when it would have been easier to give up. You stayed open when pain tried to harden you. You stayed kind when the world taught you to protect yourself by becoming cold. That matters more than you know. You have measured your life by what you did not accomplish, by what you think you should have handled better, by the moments you wish you could redo. But I measure differently. I see the courage it took to keep going when you felt uncertain. I see the effort behind choices no one applauded. I see the growth that happened quietly, without recognition. You did not quit on yourself, even when you were tempted to. You did not let disappointment erase your capacity for hope. You learned, you adapted, you survived, and you continued to care. Those are not small things. They are evidence of resilience shaped by love. There were moments when you felt invisible, when your efforts seemed unnoticed, when your pain felt dismissed. And in those moments, you still showed up. You still tried. You still carried responsibility. I saw every one of those moments. They did not disappear into nothing. They became part of who you are becoming. You may think pride is reserved for big victories, for milestones that can be measured. But I am proud of the unseen victories. The night you chose rest instead of self-punishment. The day you spoke gently to yourself instead of repeating harsh words. The moment you asked for help instead of isolating. These are the choices that reshape a life. You did not become bitter, even when bitterness would have been understandable. You did not close your heart, even when closing it felt safer. You did not stop believing entirely, even when belief felt fragile. It tells me something about your spirit. It tells me you are strong in ways that cannot be easily shaken. I know you still doubt yourself. I know you still question whether you are enough, whether you are doing life correctly, whether you are falling behind. But I want you to anchor yourself to this truth. I am not disappointed in you. I am not shaking my head in frustration. I am proud. Pride does not mean I expect nothing more from you. It means I recognize the distance you have already traveled. It means I see how far you have come from who you once were. It means I honor the work you have done internally, the work no one else could see. Let this pride reshape how you see yourself. Let it soften the harsh inner voice that tells you you are never doing enough. Let it remind you that growth is happening, even when it feels slow. You do not need to earn this pride. You do not need to prove yourself again. It is not conditional. It is not fragile. It is grounded in love and awareness. I am proud of you for listening tonight, for allowing yourself to rest, for choosing care instead of control, for staying present instead of running from what you feel. These choices matter. They are building something stable within you. Carry this with you when doubt tries to speak louder. Remember that you are seen. Remember that your effort counts. Remember that I am proud of you, not for perfection, but for perseverance. Let that truth settle. Let it steady you. You are doing better than you think. My beloved child, the night has carried many things for you. Worries you did not have time to face during the day. Thoughts that waited until everything grew quiet. Feelings you held back so you could keep going. And now, as this night stretches gently around you, I invite you to do something different. Release the night to me. You do not need to carry these hours on your own. You do not need to fill them with vigilance or control. The night does not belong to fear. It belongs to rest. And rest begins when you let go of the need to manage what you cannot change right now. Release the conversations you replay. They cannot be rewritten tonight. Release the decisions you question. They will be met with wisdom in time. Release the outcomes you try to predict. They are already known to me. You do not need to hold them in your mind to keep them from happening. There is a habit in you that believes letting go means losing something important. And if you stop thinking, stop watching, stop preparing, something will slip through your fingers. But what is truly secure does not depend on your constant attention. It rests safely in my care. Release the night means you give yourself permission to be unavailable to worry for a while. It means you stop rehearsing tomorrow and stop revisiting yesterday. It means you allow this moment to be exactly what it is: quiet, gentle, sufficient. You may feel tension resist this release. A tightening in your chest. A thought that says, I can't yet. It is okay. Release does not have to be dramatic. Even a small willingness is enough. Even saying quietly, I don't want to carry this right now, opens the door. I am not asking you to forget everything. I am asking you to trust me with it for the night. What you release now will not be lost. It will be held. And it will be returned to you later in a lighter form, with clarity instead of weight. As you release the night, your body will follow. Muscles will soften. Breathing will slow. Thoughts will drift without urgency. This is not something you must force. It happens naturally when the heart feels safe enough to rest. You have done enough for today. You have shown up. You have endured. You have cared. There is nothing more required of you in this moment. The night does not demand productivity. It offers restoration. Release the belief that you must stay alert to be responsible. Release the fear that rest makes you vulnerable. Release the pressure to understand everything before you sleep. Understanding will come when it is time. Tonight is for rest. I am here to receive what you put down. I am not overwhelmed by it. I am not confused by it. I am not burdened by your concerns. I welcome them. Place them here gently, without apology. You may notice that as you release, emotions surface briefly. A sigh, a tear, a sense of heaviness lifting. This is not weakness. This is relief. This is your soul responding to safety. You do not need to stay awake to prove you care. You do not need to stay tense to stay prepared. You can let the night go because I am holding it. Every hour, every moment, every unknown. Release the night to me, my child. Let it pass without resistance. Let it become a place of rest instead of struggle. You are not giving up control into emptiness. You are placing it into hands that are steady and sure. Stay still now. Let go. The night is no longer yours to carry. My beloved child, as you rest more deeply now, I want you to know this with certainty. The peace you feel is not temporary. It is not fragile. It is not something that disappears the moment you open your eyes. My peace remains with you. It stays beyond this night. It walks with you into the ordinary moments of life. You may have experienced calm before that faded quickly. Calm that depended on circumstances staying gentle, people staying kind, plans staying intact. But what I give you is not that kind of peace. My peace does not panic when things shift. It does not retreat when challenges arise. It remains because it is rooted in my presence, not in your control. You might wonder how this peace will hold when noise returns, when responsibilities demand your attention, when unexpected things interrupt your plans. But peace does not require silence to survive. It only requires remembrance. And I will help you remember. There will be moments when you feel this peace clearly, and moments when it sits quietly in the background. Both are real. Peace does not always announce itself. Sometimes it simply keeps you steady when you would have once unraveled. Sometimes it shortens the length of your worry. Sometimes it brings you back to center faster than before. These are signs that peace remains. You are not starting from nothing each day. You are carrying something new within you now. A steadiness that was not there before. A softness that does not collapse. A confidence that you are not alone. These things grow stronger with time, not weaker. My peace is not something you must protect aggressively. You do not need to guard it with fear or isolate yourself to keep it intact. Peace grows best when it is lived, not hidden. When you move through life gently aware that you are supported, peace becomes part of how you respond, not something you try to preserve. There will be days when you forget this moment. When stress rises quickly. When old patterns try to return. Do not be discouraged. Forgetting does not mean peace is gone. It means you are human. And I will always bring you back. Return to your breath. Return to truth. Return to the simple knowing that you are held. Peace does not require perfect consistency. It only requires willingness to come back. My peace will remain when you speak to yourself kindly instead of harshly. It will remain when you choose rest instead of pushing past exhaustion. It will remain when you allow yourself to pause instead of react. These choices may feel small, but they keep peace alive in daily life. I am not giving you peace as a fragile gift that breaks easily. I am establishing it within you as a foundation. Something you can stand on when emotions rise. Something you can lean on when uncertainty appears. You may still feel emotions deeply. Peace does not numb you. It steadies you. It allows you to feel without being overtaken. To care without being consumed. To engage without losing yourself. As you move forward, let peace become your reference point. Not perfection. Not productivity. Not approval. Peace. If something pulls you far from it, pause and return. You are allowed to choose calm even when others choose chaos. My peace remains with you in the morning light. It remains with you in conversation. It remains with you in decision-making. It remains with you in rest and in action. You do not need to summon it. It is already there. Trust that what you are receiving now will continue to work within you. Even when you are not aware of it. Even when life becomes busy again. Peace does not abandon you when you stop paying attention. It stays because I stay. Rest in that truth, my child. My peace remains with you. My beloved child, you have come far in this night. Farther than you realize. What once felt heavy has softened. What once demanded attention has quieted. And now, as your body and mind grow ready for deeper rest, I invite you into something simple and sacred. Sleep in my care. Sleep is not an escape. It is an act of trust. When you sleep, you are not giving up control into uncertainty. You are placing yourself into hands that have never failed you. Hands that have carried you through every season, even the ones you barely survived. You do not need to stay half awake anymore. You do not need to keep one eye open, listening for trouble. You do not need to check in on every thought one last time. You have done enough for today. You are allowed to stop. As you sleep, I am not stepping away. I do not hand responsibility back to you when your eyes close. I remain. I watch. I guard. I restore. Sleep is not the moment I leave you alone. It is the moment you are most fully cared for without effort. Your body knows how to sleep. It remembers rhythms older than worry. It knows how to repair, how to renew, how to reset. All it needs is permission. And tonight, you have it. Let your breathing become slow and unintentional. Let your muscles release without checking if it is safe to do so. It is safe. Let your thoughts drift without direction. They do not need to arrive anywhere. If a thought tries to pull you back into wakefulness, do not follow it. Let it pass like a sound in the distance. You are not required to respond. You are not required to understand. You are only required to rest. I am surrounding you with care that does not interrupt, does not startle, does not demand. Care that simply stays. Care that allows you to sink into sleep without fear of what you might miss. Nothing important will be lost while you sleep. Nothing urgent will go unattended. Nothing will unravel because you rested. The world will continue, and you will meet it again with more strength because you allowed yourself to sleep. You may not remember the moment sleep arrives. That is okay. You do not need to witness it. You only need to trust it. Trust that your body will take you where you need to go. Trust that rest will do what effort could not. As you sleep, I am repairing what stress has worn thin. I am calming systems that have been overworked. I am renewing strength quietly, without fanfare. You do not need to participate in this process. You only need to allow it. There is nothing you need to promise me tonight. No vows to do better tomorrow. No commitments to change everything. Rest is not earned by intention. It is received by trust. Let this be the night you sleep without bracing, without monitoring, without apologizing to yourself for needing rest. You are not weak for sleeping. You are wise for receiving it. I am here through every hour, through every dream, through every breath. Nothing reaches you without passing through my care first. You are not alone in the dark. You are not unprotected in stillness. Sleep now, my beloved child. Let your mind go quiet. Let your body sink. Let rest take over. You are safe. You are held. And you are sleeping in my care. My beloved child, you have reached the end of this message, but not the end of my presence. What you have received tonight is not meant to fade when these words fall silent. It is meant to remain with you, to settle into your days and nights, to shape the way you rest, the way you breathe, and the way you face what comes next. You came here restless, carrying weight, searching for something you could not quite name. And now, you are not the same as when you began. You are quieter inside, more grounded, more aware that you are not alone. That change did not happen by effort. It happened by surrender. I want you to remember this moment whenever you feel overwhelmed again. Remember that there was a night when you stopped striving and allowed yourself to be held. Remember how peace felt when you stopped fighting it. That memory will guide you back when noise returns. You do not need to replay this entire message to return to peace. You only need to return to truth. Truth that you are loved. Truth that you are safe. Truth that you do not carry life alone. These truths do not expire. As you move forward, there will be days when you feel strong and days when you feel fragile. Neither disqualifies you. Strength does not impress me more than honesty. Fragility does not push me away. I am present in both. I bless your rest tonight. I bless your body with deep, restoring sleep. I bless your mind with clarity that replaces confusion. I bless your heart with steadiness that outlasts fear. I bless your tomorrow with mercy that meets you exactly where you are. May you wake without dread. May you rise without heaviness. May you move through your day knowing you are a company. And when challenges appear, may you remember that peace is not something you lost, but something you can return to. I bless you with patience for your process. Healing does not rush, and neither do I. I bless you with kindness toward yourself, especially in moments when old habits try to speak. I bless you with discernment to know when to rest and when to act, without guilt in either. You are not forgotten when you sleep. You are not abandoned when you are quiet. You are not overlooked when you are still. I remain near, attentive, and faithful. Let go now of any remaining tension. There is nothing more you need to do. Nothing more you need to understand. Nothing more you need to prove. You are complete in my care. Receive this final blessing not as an ending but as a covering. A covering over your night. A covering over your life. A covering over everything you have not yet figured out. Rest now, my beloved child. I am with you. I have always been with you. And I will continue to be with you in every moment yet to come. Amen. My beloved child, this message does not end here. It continues through every heart it reaches. When you give now, you become a living channel through which my peace flows to those still restless in the night. What you sow becomes light in dark rooms, oil for weary souls, and shelter for hearts searching for rest. I speak to you now and say, what you release in love will return to you multiplied, not as distant scripture, but as my promise over your life. I have placed this invitation before you because your obedience carries weight in the unseen. Support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal donation links in the description and QR code. Do it now, and let your giving become a lasting echo of the peace you receive it.